Hi, I'm Tara Nicole, here to empower, ignite, and uplift you. Thank you so much for joining me tonight for this live broadcast of Let's Get Hot, honest, open, and transparent. I am your inspirator, your motivator, your honest, open, and transparent life coach, consultant, aspiring author, friend. But I'm here mainly here to empower, ignite, and uplift you. I am here tonight to talk about being chosen. And I started this broadcast and had to restart it, but I basically was not going to go live tonight. So that's my first honest moment, my first honest, transparent moment. I was not going to go live tonight. I was going to take a break. Then I said no. Well, I didn't say no, but God was like, no. God was like, no, you are going live. So, as everyone, if you're my friend on my personal page, you know that I have a new nephew. His name is Blake, and I love him to life. It's the first boy that we've had in our family in about 4 or 5 years. So it's very exciting. I'm sure it's very exciting and like scary or something for my sister as well, because my niece is 8. She turned 8 Saturday, and here comes Blake 2 days later, born on Monday. So I'm Tara Nicole, here to empower, ignite, uplift. I'm going to jump right in. As I was saying before I ended and had to restart, had a few technical difficulties. I have a new camera. It makes my laptop videos look extremely, it looks totally awesome, and it's so much better than it was before. However, it's more horizontal than vertical, so I'll have to figure those things out. And that's another part of this journey of being an entrepreneur, that you just, you kind of prepare, you think, you expect one thing and something else happens. However, you can't allow that to stop you. You got to keep going, keep pushing, make the adjustment, and, figure it out the best way you can, and to be prepared. So it also teaches you a lesson along the way. And that's kind of where I want to go with this whole thing about being chosen. So for me, if you've seen my post today, I was talking about I am chosen. And now when you hear that, you automatically assume, or you believe oh my God, that is so awesome. Because think about when we audition for something, when we submit an application, or anything to get qualified for something, we feel like when we are chosen, it sends us into a place of we're so ecstatic, we're excited about it, we're happy, we're glad. And, it's so unbelievable, but we're saying hallelujah, thank you, Jesus, at the same time. But along with being chosen, we were chosen because we qualified for what it is that we were auditioning for, or, going for, so to speak. But, along with that, we see the requirements that are on paper, but there are other things that come along with that. And that's why they often say, and other assigned duties and responsibilities. So, I was talking about being chosen to walk this path. And I think a lot of things for me are kind of nostalgic right now, because it's approaching a full year of me walking on this journey of being an entrepreneur full-time and teaching part-time. And along the way, there have been some ebbs and flows. There's been some disappointments. There have been some delays. There have been some highlights. There's been some exciting moments. There have been just confusing and frustrating moments. But one thing that remains the same, as I said last week, talking about perseverance, is that you have to stick to the plan. And as I mentioned a few moments ago, sticking to the plan meant that I can't quit. But I'm not a quitter by nature anyway. Now, and I don't know if that's good or bad, so to speak. Hold on one second. I'm sorry. I don't know if that's good or bad, so to speak. But I know it's not bad. But when I say bad, I'm meaning it's not really about quitting. It's just about knowing when to let go, when to release. So I did a post earlier today about letting go and release. And it's pretty much holding on and letting go takes the same effort, because it takes your energy. And so a little bit about me and this story and my nostalgic feelings and just all these different things. I've been having a lot of moments of reflection And I don't know if it's I think it's all relative, excuse me, to the excitement of my nephew being born, or just this place that I've come to with being excuse me, like in this place of peace and freedom and just lightness. Not that everything is like what I want it to be, but it's like I'm content in the state that I'm in. I am um I'm at peace. And it's like I have this spirit of expectation and anticipation that it's all going to be well. In spite of what it looked like, seemed like, or even felt like at times, you know, having to like get through some personal challenges. I mean, business wise and just personally, it's like, you know, you have to continue to persevere. You have to continue to push through. You have to continue to walk it out, so to speak. That's like one of my favorite songs. You have to walk it out. So the point about that I'm going to get to about being chosen is this. And thank you everyone for joining me. I had to switch from the computer to the phone. So invite your friends. If you're on here, give me a heart, a shout, a like, or a wave or something. Let me know you're here, because I'm seeing certain people here, but I'm seeing I see names, but I don't see anything else. I see one thing at the top, one thing at the bottom. But that's important, but it's not, because I have to deliver this message either way it go. So if you know me, you may know me from high school. You may know me from college. You may know me from growing up. You may know me as Malik and Cameron's mom, or Miles' ex-wife, or something like that. Or because I was your teacher, or I was your coach, or I was your, thank you, Anita, or I was your coach, or I was your mentor. You were or are in my girls group, or something like that. So Miss Avery, you may know Miss Shannon, but I don't know if many people know Tara Nicole. Those things are very, very much a part of who I am, and they have they're part of my foundation. And they brought me to where I am right now. But those are the things that I do. But who I am is Tara Nicole. I am a person who enjoys helping people. I've always enjoyed serving. I've always enjoyed, just extending the helping hand, helping someone figure something out, helping people reach their goal, helping you see the upside to the downside, helping you see a different perspective to, the different things that go on in your life, and going through the things that I've gone through. I mean, you should not, you're not supposed to look like what you've been through, first of all. So, people look at me like, well, you don't like you've been through anything, or you ain't got it that bad, and just whatever people want to say. And I'm not supposed to look like it, but that doesn't mean that I haven't. But it's like on the other side of through, like that is where I've learned the lessons. That is where I'm able to, empower people, especially women. That's where I'm able to, relate to you, because I've been divorced. Lost a home. I've lost loved ones. I've had my heart broken. I may have broken the heart. I don't know. I've had to let go. I've had to make tough decisions. I've had to, struggle through some things, but through those struggles, I've gained strength. Through my pain, I became powerful. Through my pain, I've birthed several things. I've birthed a business, several businesses, writing several things, journals and books and different things that you can just put together. But more so, just being able to motivate people, to empower people, to encourage you, to share Christ with people, young and old, but being chosen, as I said in my post, it doesn't exempt you from a struggle. It doesn't exempt you from pain. It doesn't mean you're entitled to anything. It doesn't mean that it's all going to be easy, but it does mean that God will go before you and make crooked places straight. He'll make rugged places smooth. He'll bring high places low. He'll make your enemy your footstool. He'll teach you, he'll let you learn the lesson, but love you through it. He will, give you favor. He'll continue to show you grace and mercy, give us what we, don't give us what we deserve, but we don't get what we deserve, but and then either way it go, grace and mercy means the same. He gives us what we haven't earned, but he don't give us what we deserve. So, I just want to also say, even with being chosen, that means you can't quit. That means I could not show up, not show up tonight to come on to empower, ignite, and uplift you. That means that I could not show up tonight because of the rain, because of the technical difficulties, because of the way I may feel, which I don't feel any kind of way. I'm just calm or something like that, I guess, for lack of words. But what I'm saying is, being chosen means you got to show up every time. You have to fulfill the promise. As I mentioned in my post also, being a teacher for 19 strong years, when the decision was made, people think they know everything, but they don't. But I'm not worried about that. I'm not like really moved by that, of you think you know, or because you may know bits and pieces. Because what I've often found is that sometimes when you're talking to people, and you may also recognize this, but when you talk to people, oftentimes people are, what's the word I'm looking for? People are listening to respond. They're not listening to hear you. So before you can even finish your sentence, your statement, your story, they're already jumping in. They're already telling you something. They're already, sharing, what they think you should do or what you should have done. But it's like, you just need to listen to hear, not to respond. So in saying that, I'm saying that, you have, with making decisions that I needed to make, it was like, what? I had to go within. I had to go to God. I had to quit talking about it. I really didn't even talk about it a lot, except my mom or, very close friends. But even with that, it was a moment where you have to be silent because you have to know what you're hearing. And in those moments of silence, I began to realize that, this difficult person that came into my life, it was a perfecting tool, not before where I was, but for where I was going. And where I was going was a place that I've always imagined. The place that when I was sitting at my desk and it was near a window, I look out and I see people running or jogging or walking or on the phone, or I walk across the street for lunch and we're rushing to get back, but they're sitting there on their laptop, they're making business calls or just chilling or whatever the case may be. That moment of freedom, that thing I've always imagined, like being my own boss. Like I go back to documents and records and things that I've looked up and I've had, it's like all the things, motivational speaking, life coaching, everything that I'm doing right now, that I'm working and building on right now, is what I've always wanted to do. Yes, being a teacher, but is in a bigger sense, not just in the classroom. So it's like you begin to feel confined and restricted, and the more and more you're making an impact, there's something more and more the walls begin to close in on you, because in the system, they begin to tell you what you can say, what you can't say, what you can do, what you can't do. But you're like, this is not what they need. They need this or they need that. Not that you are against implementing new things, new strategies, but it's like when you're in there every day, when we call it, when we're in the trenches every day, when you are in there with them, you know what they need. You know what they go through. It's somebody on the outside who hasn't taught, or if they did, it was briefly, or it's like education has become more of a corporate thing, and so it's like people aren't really. I mean, on the surface we're concerned, but not really, because you can't implement certain things or enforce certain things and say that you really care, like not having deadlines, not keeping them held to a standard. So on one hand, it's like, oh yeah, give them to Avery. She can handle them. She can get them under control. But on the flip side, you're being too hard. You got to give them a break. Don't want to crush them. But it's like, how are we college and career ready when we don't adhere to deadlines? Colleges adhere to deadlines. You can't apply after the deadline. You can't. So it's just like a lot of things begin to change. So, and then it's like you change as well, because it's constant change. So all that to say, when this difficult person came into my path, my life, it God began to show me it's not about that person, it's about you. This is like igniting. That's what Empower, Ignite, Uplift came straight from him. It was igniting something inside of me that was lying dormant. It was igniting that sharpness, because of all the things I had to do to quote unquote defend myself or protect my reputation, or to prove something that wasn't true. I mean, that it wasn't true. It caused me to, I had to I had to do a lot of research. So all that to say, those things, that discipline that it put me, that practice that it put me into, gave me more discipline. It ignited some of my thoughts, my juices, my energy, my flow, my creativity, my keenness, my awareness. But it wasn't about being in that place. It was about preparing me for where I was going. It was preparing me for where I am right now. Because I remember saying, when my son graduates high school, I'm graduating too. I said that forever. He'll be a junior in college, but every year I found a reason to stay. And sometimes I found God made me stay. But when it was time to go, it was time to go. Now, the year before I left, I knew it was time to go, but I was like, one more year, or maybe I'll wait till Cameron graduates, which means that would have still been 3 more years because he doesn't graduate until 2019. So what I'm saying is your conversation will catch up with you. I said I was going to graduate when Malik graduated. I said I was going to do this. I was going to do that. I would go, looking around my office, or when I moved, or different places where I kept documents, my binders and folders of all the things that I gathered, the materials that I gathered. And I'm like, just reflecting on all of that. And it's like with every transition that I've encountered, I'm like, Lord, what is this all about? So in reflection on this week, he showed me that each transition, each devastation, what I thought was devastating, each, moment that felt like it was a calamity, was really just another push, another thing that was forcing me, another thing that's preparing me, another thing that was getting me closer to my destiny, because it wasn't meant for me to stay confined, restricted. Now I believe in rules. I'm a Capricorn. We like structure. We believe in, we just by nature. But what I'm saying is being restricted to what you can and can't do, can and say and can't say. And, depending on somebody regulating everything you do when it's supposed to be about education. So what I'm telling you is this: when you're chosen, you really can't get away from it. You may get by, but you can't get away. When you're chosen, you can't live any kind of way. You can't, you can't deviate from certain, your core beliefs, your values, what you really want to do, what you're really here for, your purpose. You can go around it. I think I talked about before about getting off the path, and you got to get back into alignment. But it was like I was mentioned before also, that when you are destined to be in a certain place, in a certain entity, in a certain presence in this world, it's a crazy world out here. Definitely so. But when hey, Tatiana, how are you? I need to call you. Forgive me. Everything happened at once. But when you are destined to be in a certain place, I don't care what come or what go, you are going to be in that place willingly or forced, or you will be forced to do it. Now, God is a gentleman. He's not going to make you do anything, but the lessons in your life are going to make you make a decision. Now, God ain't going to make you do it. He ain't going to say, all right, Tara, you want to be a millionaire, but, you keep on being trifling over here, or, lackadaisical over there, or, life can weigh you down. Situations can weigh you down, especially when in your mind, it is not what you thought it should be. But that's why he says, my thoughts are higher than your thoughts. My ways are higher than your way. That's why we have to get out of our way and his way. Because when you're chosen, you gotta fulfill your destiny. Like he said, many are called, but chosen are few. My people are peculiar. So you might not fit in with everybody. I'm not going to be the coach for everybody. I'm not going to be the speaker for everybody. I don't even want to be for everybody. I want to be who he called me to be, and I want to be for who he has for me. I want to be able to relate. I want to be able to connect. I want to be able to help you reach your goal. I want you to identify with me. I want you to understand through my transparency, through my sharing, through my moments, through my openness, through me being hot with you, that you're not the only one. You can overcome. You are more than a conqueror. It's just not a cliche. It's just not about walk by faith and not by sight. No, I'm telling you, walking by faith means that when he put you in this particular place that you're in, when I knew he called me to where I am now, because it's been almost a year, and all the miracles that he's wrought in my life over this time, I'm not going to say I never would imagine it, but I never would have thought that that's how he would have sustained me during this time. So when you're chosen, he will close the door because he has another door open for you. When you're chosen, he won't let that difficult person leave you alone, but he'll give you the grace to get through it. He'll give you the grace to make it. He won't let you focus on you. He'll have you ministering to somebody else. He'll have you praying for other people. He'll have you talking to other people. He'll have you encouraging other people. You won't have time to be in the pity party. You won't have time to go off. You won't have time to snap, crackle, and pop, because he constantly has you being about his business. Because when you're about his business, he's about your business. And it's just being about being chosen. I don't have no points. I ain't got no bullets. I'm just talking about Tara Nicole. Yes, I'm Tara Avery. Yes, I'm Malik and Cameron's mom. I'm Anita's daughter. I'm a big sister. I'm a big cousin. I'm always doing something. I'm always helping people. But right now it's about helping me helping me to be who it is that he created me to be, who he wants me to be, where he wants me to be, and how he wants me to be it. It's about me walking out this journey, trusting the plan, trusting the process, understanding that his ways are different from mine, understanding that it's not always going to work out the way I thought it should be, but understanding also that when it doesn't work out the way I want it to work out, that means that, guess what? He has something better. He could be protecting us from something. You just never know. If you watch TV, the stock market, for example, you think you want to invest in this big company, I'm gonna make some money. 3 months later it crashes. Think about years ago when it crashed and the market crashed. The housing market was awful. People were committing suicide. They were leaving their family. They were doing all kind of, because the stock was in that thing, in these tangible things. But my stock is in God, and I want him to be able to trust me with what he's given me, the gifts. He says, stir up the gifts inside of me. Your gifts will make room for you. So when I was going through this whole thing, not this past school year, but the last school year, I never reacted. I never responded. I talked, but I knew it was a debacle. I knew it was crazy, but I'm like, okay. When I realized that God wasn't going to end this thing, I said, okay, you got to walk with me through this thing, because it was to the point where it was some truths, but they were presented as in lies. I was told one thing and it was something else. Now, I don't have to get into all the details because it's not important. And, some people here to hear and to be empowered and enlightened and uplifted. But some people here just to get the tea. I don't have no drama. I'm spilling the tea, but it ain't the kind of tea you want. So if I'm not your flavor, I advise you to go, find somebody else who got some drama for you, because I don't have that. But what I am telling you is I had to, at one point we had one principal. If I walk past it at 8:27, you should be in your classroom. The next one, he was there the whole time. The next one we got, you get 7 minutes grace. This one, no grace, not even 1 second. So, hey, tighten up. It was a lot of shifting, a lot of changing, but that's part of life. But it was presented as that. So that wasn't the issue, not late. But then it became, just kept flipping and changing, flipping. I'm like, Lord, it was like being challenged on every hand, but it was like he was maturing me through that, maturing me in the sense of not reacting, not responding, not letting my ego and my pride get in the way. Oh, you what? Incompetent? No, have you checked my test scores? Have you done this? But it wasn't about that. It was about him preparing me for where he's taking me, preparing me for that place that I've been talking about, talking to him about, talking to myself about, writing about, imagining, thinking about it, waking up thinking about it for years. But it was like, it seemed like it was never opportunity to go. It seemed like it was always a moment where I couldn't figure it out. But when he began, even when I thought I wanted to stay in it for real, I got all these certifications. I'm one step away from being Dr. Avery. But it's like you begin to look at like, what am I doing all this for? I can be an assistant principal. I can be a coach. I can be a curriculum coach. All these things I could be. But I want to, it's bigger than that. My mind is bigger than that. The things, the dreams, the visions that he gives me is bigger than that. So it's like, you don't know how you can make the transition. So you stay in a comfortable, chaotic place. But what I can say is the feeling, the tug, the pull, the loss of passion. Now I love teaching. I can't show up and not teach. I can't be trifling. But just some of the things I was enforced. It's like you're fighting a losing battle. But to fast forward that, even when I got into the point where I had to get my attorneys, and other people were like just resigning and quitting and cussing out and falling out, and it was just using the different tools that teachers really couldn't fight against to try to get people out. They don't really want veteran teachers because it's harder to get rid of a veteran teacher than a new teacher. But you have to pay us for our time and our degrees and all that, those different things. But what I'm saying is this: when I begin to look at this, I'm like, Lord, like this working out for that person. It never was a comparison. I'm like, all right, God, okay, this is gonna be over in a minute. But he didn't let it be over. It kept going and going and going. And even when I got my attorneys, they were like, oh, you need to quit. Oh, just resign and go to another school district. Oh, just do this. Oh, just do that. You're not going to win. And I'm like, look at the evidence. The facts were there. And I talked about this thing before about insight and seeing beyond what you see and seeing a truth bigger than your truth. And you have to begin, it's like acceptance. But then God began to show me that in all of this, in all the things that brought me to that point, all the transitions, all leaving a toxic relationship, even all the way back to getting divorced, all the things that we think are so horrible, there's really a nugget in all of that. I mean, because not saying I wanted to be divorced, I never wanted to do that, but I'm just saying I had to accept that that's what it was. Whether I could keep my house, and I could keep it or not, it wasn't being kept. Acceptance is the key. Acceptance is the thing that gives you your breakthrough. Acceptance is your aha moment. It brings your epiphanies. It helps you understand, like, okay, it's something different. But then it's like once you get past that moment, once you release and let go, it's like the doors are open and you'll begin to see that it's something greater, something bigger. I've been on the other side of this journey, but not this side. But I'm like, okay, it all boiled down to the day before this hearing. And I said, Lord, what do you want me to do? First, he showed me what I didn't see. Even though I knew the truth and saw the truth, he gave me insight on some other things that weren't that I wasn't aware of. My attorneys weren't prepared. I'm like, this is like a twilight zone. I had a coaching call. And what the Lord showed me through all of this is that he was empowering me, giving me the power to make the decision. Don't give it to somebody else, because for whatever reason, this person is being allowed to carry out this thing. And it wasn't just me, it was other people. But God gave me confirmation from 3 different people. You got the power. You got the power. You got the power. Another person was like, from another educator's first, he was like, I don't understand why they're allowing this to go this far. I didn't have a PDP, I didn't have a PLP, I didn't have no write-ups, nothing. But God began to show me that I had been talking about leaving, doing something different. I want to open my own learning center. I don't share a lot because people amen you, but then they'll pray against you. But I'm not worried about their prayers, because mine are stronger and greater is he that's in me than he that's in this world. But what I'm saying is, all the things that I desire to do couldn't be done on somebody else's time. I'm not here saying quit your job, leave, don't do it. But what I am saying is, if something is tugging at you, something is pulling at you, if something is calling you, that thing that you can't move away from, that thing that just won't leave you, that thing that you get excited about that more than you do about going to work, it's time to start asking God, how do I do this? What do you want me to do? So the day before, God gave me confirmation. He knows me. He knows me. I ain't going to quit. I ain't going to let go. Especially if I think I'm right. No, I'm holding on. We're gonna fight. We're gonna go to the end, and we're gonna see who left standing. And most of the time, it's been me. I'm just being honest with you. But my point is, he said, let go. And I did. That was a Thursday. Woke up Friday morning. I had like 3 emails to come for a job interview. I went to all the interviews. But guess what? Why? If I say that I want to do this certain thing, and I started looking at all my old notes, going through my old portfolios, the name for every business I have or want. When I started my nonprofit for girls, I was going through a tumultuous time in my life. Contemplating at that time separation, divorcing, having to move. But I'm walking, he talking. Unique Images is birth. Through this situation, it wasn't as painful, but I'm like, God, what is going on? Here I am Tara Nicole, here to empower, ignite, uplift. Something is being birthed. And when we go through pain, even when we have children, it's painful. But when you birth something, you don't think about the pain as much as you do that baby or what you brought life to. You're excited about it. Okay, you don't know. There's no handbook to parenting. There's no handbook to entrepreneurship. But there is guidance. There is direction. But when you appointed for, anointed for, he's predestined you for it, then guess what? He's going to carry you through it. And one thing that he let me know, I said, okay, God, this on you. I say that every day. All right, God, this on you. Everything that's come my way, everything that's come to try to distract me, even lately, the last month or so, it's been more about these lessons learned, like the things that come. People say the enemy, but don't give him too much credit. It's not just about the enemy. God, he come to test us. All right, you say you trust me now, do you? Let me see how you respond to this. Let me see if you react to respond to that. Let me see how you respond to a person, somebody who let you down, didn't come through, something that come up in your life, your air going out, your this, your that, your car getting hit 2 days in a row, your money not coming on time, just whatever the case may be. But I'm going to tell you this, when God is called you to do something, he's going to see you through. I can share a whole lot, but I'm not going to do that. It'll come over time. If you've listened to me before, then you've caught it anyway. But my point is this. I left that position. I had those several interviews. It wasn't for me because I'm like, why would you go? I'm going from the pot to the frying pan, or frying pan to the pot, however you want to call it. But it's like you're going from what you said you were leaving right back into it. It's still the same thing. It doesn't matter if it's a different district. And no, I didn't do anything wrong. I didn't. But he said release it because it's something greater. But it's like when I need to be in a meeting that's from 8 to 5, I can't go if I'm at work or something's going to benefit my business or build my nonprofit. So my point is this. When he has brought you to a place, he will see you through it. I just paid my first mortgage since August. True testimony. June. August to June. Nothing in between. Because when he bring you to a place, he'll make a way. It was the crazy hurricanes that came through in September that created this. But he said he'll take foolishness to confound the wise. I'm not saying he caused the hurricane. What I'm saying is he will give you favor. He will open doors for you. He will make a way for you. He will cause people to give to you. Even with the credit card, my credit cards, they're like, oh, you in the path of the hurricanes. Oh, you don't have to pay for 2 months. We're giving everybody, we're waiving that. But he knew I needed those 60 days for some other things to work out, so other things to transpire. So what I'm saying is when you're chosen, it doesn't exempt you from anything. It doesn't mean you're not going to go through anything. It doesn't mean that you don't have some other things you got to still work through or correct. But when he's wanting you to release and let go of certain things and people, you're going to have to work your way through that. And the more you resist, the more you're going to go through. The more you want to hold on to it because you think in your mind that it's going to work out or in time or in a moment. It's not. You have to do it the way he wants you to do it. And oftentimes too, guess what? He will show you like this is not for you. It could be your job. It could be a relationship. It could be friendships. I've shared so many things from the end of from the end of 2017 to now. Friends, relationships, or quote unquote friends. But it doesn't bother me because, and I was watching this, I watched Kelly Lane and she was saying, she was mentioning this thing about the bus stop. Some people are going to get off the bus. But be okay with that. And if they're meant to be in your life or in your circle or in your, hey, Eritrea, I didn't know. I thought y'all lost you. Welcome back. If they meant to be in your circle, if they meant to be in your space, they'll come back around. I had trouble with that. Like, not trouble, but because of who I am, because of how I am, and I can help. I can, and I'm gonna tell you right now, being good, it means something, but it don't mean nothing to God. It has to be, is it a good idea or a God idea? Okay, you can be good. You're supposed to be good. Okay, but that doesn't mean anything because you can be good for the wrong people, the wrong person, the wrong place. So it doesn't matter. You got to be good for the right place, the right people, the right situations. That's when your goodness counts. But is it God? And like I said before, I am not here to say quit your job or leave. But what I am saying is it takes confidence. And I'm very confident, but it took courage, a heap of courage for me to walk away from this quote unquote fake security. And I can only talk about what I've done for my first part of my life, which is teaching. I was talking to my nephew's grandmother at the hospital, and she was like, "How long you taught?" I said, 20 years. I said 19, in high school, and then this last year just still in education, but not full time. And she was like, "Oh, you started young." I was like, "Yeah, 22." And so she was like, "That's a long time." And I'm like, "Yes." So I mentioned last week, if I can give education 19 strong years of my life, then why would I stop this journey in a year? It'd be a year next month. But why would I stop that? Why would I stop then? 7 that means completion. 5 is grace. The 5th month was woo. I had to get through some things. And then here we are at 6, and we're going to the 7th month. And the 8 is new beginning. So I know there's some things I'm still learning. But guess what? The more I speak about it, the more I say, I watch my words. I speak it as if I already have it. I think about it like I already have it. It's like I mentioned before, I had to return to that first faith, that first belief, that thought of like, you can't tell me nothing. God work it out, but he showed me every day he will. I'm telling you, I've done supply positions, but each time I did a supply position, it let me know even more. I don't want to return as a full-time teacher right now. Now, if God says, "Tara, go return," guess what? I'm going to return. But right now, he didn't say that. And that's why when I resigned, but they kept trying to make me do it, I wouldn't do it. I said, when God, and I said it just as sure as I'm sitting right here and I'm telling you now, I said, when God tell me to, I will. He didn't tell me to in June, so I didn't. And I still have everything I need. I still have other things that I'm working through and working on with that situation, ethical things, just breach of policy and all that. But the bigger thing is you can't get caught up in consuming that because you reap what you sow. What go around, come around. Karma, tables turn, giants fall. I'm telling you, I've been in a situation when I first got here. I wanted to transfer to the school I was in. I just left. They blocked the transfer. Oh, you can leave. But that person was the same way, using their authority in the wrong way. But oh, you better believe the day came when that person went all the way up to assistant superintendent and all the way back down to teaching in the classroom, because you get by, but you don't get away. So, but that's not the point. That's why he said, pray for those who come against you, who spitefully use you. The enemy got his people, but that ain't our business. God has his people chosen. You can't get away from it. You can't move away from it. You can't get around it. We hold, oh, my job, all my benefits, my retirement. But I'm like, so you're going to let that confine you? Now, again, I'm not saying quit. I'm not saying leave. You better do your research. You better study. But if it's in you, we all know that thing that's in us. Even if you keep your job, it's still something in you. The Bible says have multiple streams of income. Is it easy? No. Is it hard? No. Is it challenging? Yes. But who doesn't want a challenge? Do you want everything to be easy? How do you grow? How do you learn? How do you prosper? If everything is easy, then we won't. If it's easy, then we won't we won't be excited about it, or be like, oh, you lose your passion when it becomes too easy. You lose when you don't have a fight for something. It's time to go. A year before I left, when that girl called me out my name, out loud, in my face, outside my door, I'm like, oh my God, it's really time for me to go. 18 years in, I've never had that happen. I've had students get mad at me. I've had students, they might say it in the hallway or to each other, but never to my face. And I'm like, it's just, and depending on what you believe, like I said, I respect everybody's opinion. I respect everyone's beliefs. But I believe in the Father, Son, Holy Ghost, God. We all can learn something from each other. Meditate, praying, being still, all the different things that we get too religious about, and we too religious, and we too saved, and we ain't no earthly good. But you can learn something from everybody. Being still, meditating, that's when you want to get the answer. We talk to God, but you got to listen sometimes. So back to what I'm saying, I knew it was time, and I'm like, okay, whew, gotta go. When they say they got a petition against you because you teach too hard, because you too hard, because you teach. I'm like, it's school, it's education. What are you talking about? So it's like, it's actually no respect. But you know what? When I talked to that little girl, when she did that, she was waiting for me to respond negatively. She was waiting for me to get with her. And I wrestled with it because the Lord said, tell her that you forgive her. I was like, I don't want to do that. I ain't doing that. I said, nope, she need to apologize to me. Then, and he was like, but all he kept saying, with love and kindness have I drawn thee. And I told her, I was honest. I said, I'm not doing this because I want to. I'm doing it because God told me to. I said, because forgiveness is not for you, it's for me. It's my gift. So we began, and she just kind of looked at me because she was waiting for me to respond differently, because that's what she used to. So it's like, you have to listen and obey. But when you're chosen, you can't be who you want to be. Like, I couldn't be the Miss Avery I wanted to be. Like, you ain't never coming here no more. Now, she couldn't come without her mom, but when I saw her mom was acting with her, I'm like, okay, that explains it. She ready for you to come at her, say something to her, and she does things to try to trigger you. But all those things are tools. Everything was a tool. It was the point to push me into my destiny. Push me into the path where I am now. Push me into the point of believing that it can happen again. Not that I never lost sight of it, but it's like, you a mom, you a single mom, this ain't going right, that's not going right. You got to work it. Like, whether you get child support or not, you got to just work. You got to know that that God with you. And it's like just different things, different obstacles, just growing, and then them growing up. I needed to be there for them. Like, so that's why I kind of shunned away from the promotions. I'm like, okay, when you have to be at school as an AP, you got to be there from sun up to sundown, activities and events. Then when I'm going to be at their events? So God began to show me in reflection. What I'm saying is, in your reflective moment, just let him talk to you. I wouldn't have been able to be there for their band concerts, even though I was all over the world until they began to drive. Well, my oldest began to drive with the activities, and it's like, oh Lord, I need a break. But I was happy for Daddy Weekend. I'm like, okay, y'all going to Alabama? Okay, see you. Meet me at the state line. It was just like, woo-saw. But I know that it made a difference in them. It made a difference in me. You can give kids everything, material. They can have all that, but it doesn't replace the nurturing. It doesn't replace them seeing you there. It doesn't replace the things that you teach them. It just doesn't replace certain things about family. The money could be good, but it answers all things, but it's not everything. Why do you think so many people who have a lot of money are so miserable, or they still in trouble, or they still, and it's like about earning it. That's why last week we talked about perseverance, like sticking to the plan in spite of the obstacles, the difficulties, and the disappointments and the challenges, because it's very challenging. On this side, you got to make sure everything that you invest, everything that you look at, you see. It's like I said before, a couple of weeks ago, we did a pop-up, and I talked about how it's so much, like it's a plethora of everything out there. It's like too many options, too many choices. It's like that'll overwhelm you. But that's what being still is all about. That's what praying is all about. That's what being led by what's being inside it. That's why what's being led in your spirit, that intuitiveness that we have. So what I'm saying is, even I talked about being on my prayer call with my prayer group. Someone's like, I'm like, why do y'all pray? Y'all can pray. That we can't pray like you. I'm like, well, I don't want to pray. Or I lay there before I get on the call. I'm like, Lord, I don't want to pray. I want them to pray. And then he was like, excuse me, get up, call in. And then some moments where he don't even let you sleep. You can't sleep. You toss and turn. You back and forth. So what I'm saying is this: when you're chosen, you can't get away from it. He want to bless everybody. There's room for everybody. No comparison, no competition. But you do have to learn from people. I do want to learn from the best. And I think I'm one of the best that he's chosen. But I know there's somebody better than me. Somebody that's already walked this path. There's somebody that can keep me or direct me in a sense where I won't encounter the same heartache or difficulty or obstacle that they encounter, because you don't have to go through everything to understand the experience. Some experiences can be avoided by listening to somebody else's testimony, and you can learn from your lessons you've already had. And when certain things keep repeating themselves in your life, certain cycles, that was a topic I wanted to talk about, and I will eventually. But when those things keep showing up, then guess what? You didn't learn something the first time. You didn't pass the test the first time. It's something else that you need to heighten your awareness, become more keen about, do something differently. We don't have to let go of our goal. We might have to change your strategy. But I will say this: if you sitting on your gift, if you sitting on what it is God gave you and told you to do, if your life not changing, then that's why. That's what being hot is all about. It's not changing because you're resisting the change. You want it, but you're resisting it. You desire it, but you don't want to take the steps to do it. You got to take action, and it's scary. It is. That's why he said be strong and courageous. That's why confidence and courage is two different words, two different meanings. You can be confident that you can do something, but do you have the courage to do it? You have to do it scared. You have to do it. When we're familiar with something, we feel real good. I can teach with my eyes closed. I can read a paper, grade a paper, give you feedback, turn around, spin around, come back, and here you done. That's easy. Easy. But it's like, but what this part, learning the strategy, learning about ClickFunnels. I mean, something that's foreign to some of you who not on this side of it, but whatever it is that you need to learn or do, don't resist it. Don't avoid it. If that thing is pulling you. And then this other thing, even if you get weary, he said, or you get tired, he said, don't be weary in well doing. We all want to stop. But if it's not in your nature, guess what? You don't. I have big ideas, big conferences, big, retreats and, weekends. But guess what? I'm going to start with a meeting. Hey, meet me here. I'm having a conference called Armed and Dangerous. Are you dressed for the battle? Okay, I can imagine that being as big as Woman That Are Loose. But guess what I'm going to start? I'm going to start at somebody's hall or center and work my way up. I may aspire to do it that big, but you got to smoke in steps. You got to keep showing up. That's why I come here every Thursday. Is very important. You got to keep showing up. You got to keep posting. You got to not worry about who's going to say what or what they're going to say. All you got to worry about is what God say and what you say. Because your life and death is in the power of your tongue. If you say you can't, then you can't. If you say I can, then you can. If you say I don't, then you don't. If you say I won't, then I won't. If you said I ain't, then you not. Period. And it's not like I'm so deep, but I just understand. I have come into this full awareness of whatever you say is what you have. From the greatest to the smallest. Whatever you say is what you get. So I watch my words. And if I say something wrong, I cancel it out and I say something different with it. And I mean, even down to manifesting somebody to come cut my grass when my old person wasn't available anymore. I said that that morning, that night I come back home, it's a flyer on my door. Everything that I say and speak, okay, God, I need to understand this. Okay, God, universe, I'm open to receive whatever it is you have for me for my highest and greatest good. And then you have to be willing to receive that. And when you pray about something, another thing is you can't tell God how to answer your prayer. He gonna answer the way it need to be answered, because some answers need to come to in a sense where you know that it's him, and also in a way that you know, or that he know that you're not gonna return to this situation, this person, this relationship, this job, this idea, this nothing. And the thing about the contrasts that show up in our life, those moments of resistance, they really show up to show you what it is you want versus what you don't want. You don't focus on what you don't want. You focus on what you do want. But the contrast comes to show you that. Think about two sides of a magnet. They repel. And so it's like you got to think about these things are pushing us. But the more you resist, the more resistance you're going to have in your life. The more you stick to wanting to be your way, the harder it's going to be. You got to get ego out the way. Ego, excluding God out. Let it go. Pride come before the fall. What can he do with a prideful heart? Nothing. Because you think you know it all. Now, he will welcome you in. You can still reach your destiny. You can still reach your goal. It's never too late. If something falls through or it doesn't work out, it doesn't pan out, It doesn't mean it won't happen. Delay does not mean denial, but you don't want to be the reason that you're delayed. You don't want your delay to cause your denial. But his delay doesn't mean denial. He will complete his perfect work in you. Here I am a year later. I have no idea. I just knew that I knew this way he called me to be. And when I made a decision, oh, what freedom I felt. Oh, what relief I felt. I still had to work through some other things. I had to get out of a relationship that wasn't for my greatest and highest good, no matter what I thought or what similarities or what commonalities we may have had. It wasn't for me. And it wasn't about the other person making a decision for me. It's about me making my own decision. But what I'm saying is this. Even when you're in the midst of something like that, when you're talking to God and telling him, this ain't for me. I may not have said it out loud. I may have been thinking it, writing it. It don't matter what it is. But when you're saying that, when you're talking to him, when you're constantly praying about it, your prayers are going to be answered. It does not matter how they're answered. We can't tell him how to answer them. And then you can't run from your calling. I don't care. I mean, you can, but you can't. You can like not answer the call, but that don't mean that the call won't keep calling you. But when you don't answer it, you're going to be unhappy. You're going to be miserable. You're going to be sick, literally. You're just not going to have peace because something greater is calling you. So when you're chosen, answer the call. Have faith. Faith is not the quote says, faith is not knowing every step, but just taking the next step. When you drive your car, the parable they use about the headlights, you only can see 200 feet in front of you unless you cut the beamer on, the light went on, but it still don't take you. You still can only see so far. Same thing with faith. It's just the next step. Take one step, then you take another one. But if you don't take a step, if you don't get started, if you don't even go, if you don't even get up, some people don't want to get up. I want my life to change, but you don't want to change. It doesn't go together. It doesn't work. There's no balance in that. Am I saying that I have all the answers? No. Am I saying that everything is where I wanted to be? No. But then you have to go back and check yourself. What can I do differently? And it all is about alignment. And not just with what you believe, but I mean how you think, how you speak, how you talk, what you listen to, what you watch, where you go. It don't matter what people think about you. It don't matter if you think, oh, she's so deep, or you think you're good. So what? Why are you even worried about that? I know I'm not. If 1,000 people show up on here, or 5, I'm coming every Thursday. If some catch the replay, and as I mentioned before, some people you got to be detached from that, because some people, they clapping for you in silence, but they're talking about you in public, so they can't come on and let you see them watching you, because it go against what they are saying and doing. But what I am saying is, if you be about his business, he'll be about your business. But when you mind your own business, you can't worry about who's minding your business or somebody else's business. You minding your own business. I'm minding my own business. So when people don't see me, or people don't, what's she doing, where's she at? If you want to know, come to Tara.Nicole and find out. Otherwise, you have to figure it out on your own. But I'm the best person you can ask about me, because I'm the only one who can tell you about me. It don't matter what somebody think they know, or what they thought, or what I used to do or used to say. That's past tense. Do you know me now? But all those used to's built this person that's sitting in front of you. It makes it made me stronger. It made me wiser, brighter, better. And guess what? We're all here to serve. Bottom line, not ourselves, but other people. But to end this, because I'm about to go and just mind my business, you don't have to do anything you want to do. But as I used to tell my students, it will behoove you to answer the call. I learned that in college from Dr. Siebra. She was a Talladega, and she would tell us it will behoove you to actually read these chapters. Because, we try to find the shortcut. But guess what? The shortcut is the longest path, because you'll find yourself starting over or having to redo it, because sometimes there aren't no shortcuts. And when you find one, okay, but it doesn't work every time. So it will behoove you to just sit back, listen. We talking a lot, but are we listening? Are you answering the call? that thing that's tugging at you, that thing that's pulling at you. You know, being chosen means you can't stop. You can't quit. You can't let go. You can take a break. You can take a rest. You can fall back. You can go within. You can go and rejuvenate and revive, but you can't quit. You can't stop. You got to keep pushing. You got to keep going. You got to keep moving, because you got to keep preparing yourself, because you want that aha moment. You want that blow up. You want that glow up. You want that show up. But you got to be ready for it, because you don't know when it's going to happen, because God is a God of suddenlies. He does things instantly. You know, if he decides to snap, your life can change drastically in just meeting going to the right conference, going to the right meeting, you know. But it's like if you're not in that zone or in that mode to keep learning, keep growing, then guess what? You're not going to get that. You want to be content, but don't be complacent. But if it don't work out, okay, all right, that's what it is. Failure is the womb of success. If you do your, research, you will see people talk about all the time: Walt Disney, Ben Franklin, George Washington Carver, all these people, they didn't succeed the first time they attempted to create something or invent something. Now, I haven't had to do bankruptcy and things like that, but I'm just saying some things didn't go through. It worked this time. I remember I did a fundraiser for my group, my girls group. We had an awesome comedy show the first time. The second time, it wasn't so great. I'm like, okay. You know, but it's like, you got to go back. What am I doing? Okay, try something different. Maybe not so soon. Change your strategy. Change your method. Change your approach. Be open. Be honest. Be receptive. Be willing to receive constructive criticism. Don't be critical, but you can be constructive. Someone can tell you, hey, do this differently, do that differently. Watch this, watch that. Even down to our body language, our tone. But it's like when things are going on with us and in us, it affects everything, whether we know it or not. Subconsciously, it does. Your mood, how you act, how you respond. That's why sometimes when I would get out of work, the commute was long enough, but that could be frustrating. But I may sit in the garage or in my driveway in my old house for a minute and just woosah, breathe. Because when I go in, I don't want to be who I had to be at the end of the day and in the traffic with my kids. So my point is, I'm wrapping up. I'm leaving for real. It's not a tidbits, points and bullets. The point is this: if something is, the calling is there, answer the call. It's scary. We love the familiar. Even if it's a crazy familiar, we love it because we know what to do. We know somebody. We know the crazy. We know how to deal with the crazy. This because we know what to do with it. But if it's something pulling at you, something that you need to do, that you want to do, like whatever it is you want to do, go for it. Ask God to show you how to do it. But if he has called you to it, he's going to give you the grace, the skills, the favor, the flavor too, but the favor, the blessings, the everything to get through it. And every time something comes, an obstacle, a challenge, a disappointing moment, is there to teach you something. Is there to grow you. Is there to, because as I mentioned last week, perseverance will finish what it started. It will complete its perfect work in you. We're imperfectly made perfect through him, through our tests, through our trials, through our obstacles. We learn something about ourselves. We rediscover things about ourselves. Like I mentioned at the beginning, this is I'm closing out. That situation, it made me sharper. You know, it brought my keenness back, my awareness, my instant, you know, that instant thing where I can think and respond. Because after a while, you just kind of go through the humdrum, you go through the motions. Oh, we go to work. Oh, got to give them a 70. Or you got to pass them anyway. So you lose your fire for it. But when I start thinking about speaking and motivating and coaching, what I've been doing it forever, the life coaching, it just ain't free no more. But people when you've been doing that, you the go-to person, whatever it is, start thinking about what it is that you do on a regular basis that you love and people come to you for, and they feel better when they leave you, or they leave your presence, or even how they make you feel with helping them. Now, I have learned on this journey also that some people talk about it, but they ain't really about it. They don't want to change. They say they want to, but they don't, because they keep doing the same thing. The behavior don't change. The actions don't change. The complaining don't change. Like with affirmations, speak them, but then take action with it. Do something with it. Don't just say it. Yeah, the more you say it, the more you believe it, but then put something with it. Like putting a cherry on top. I can do all things through Christ who strengthens me, but what thing that you need to do that you need strength in doing? Okay, it may be learning about your business. Whatever it is, I'm not saying quit your job because everybody's not meant to be an entrepreneur. But everybody's meant to let their gifts make room for them. You're meant to prosper. You're meant to live a life on earth that you desire in heaven, or wherever you choose to go when you leave the world, wherever you believe in. So answer the call. Whatever it is you're chosen for, you can't get away from it. You could be, I remember a long time ago, I just conversation with my brother, and we were somewhere, and I was like, I just couldn't stay there. I mean, we were out somewhere, or I was even led to go to that particular place. Because even though, I've been in church all my life, I minister, but this is my ministry. It don't have to be behind the pulpit. The youth, women, that's why I was in education. I was to be the light for those people. All the kids, and I was like, people say, "Oh, you're gonna waste all them years? You're gonna waste your degrees? No, that experience is my foundation." A lot of kids who didn't know about God, a lot of kids who weren't thinking about going to college, let alone a master's degree. I'm talking about just a bachelor's degree, or going to take up a trade or a skill. It was not that I'm this great person, but I'm made great through God. But because He allowed me to cross their path, they had a different desire. They didn't quit school, or if they had made a mistake or had a baby, they didn't quit. They kept going. They finished. They desired to go to school. They desired to be more like a young lady. They desired to be a certain way, to change a certain mindset, to know that they don't have to live in the same cycle. They can break generational curses. All you got to do is change. You got to decide you want to make a change, act on it, and go for it. As long as He said, I will withhold no good thing from those who walk upright in me. Upright just really mean doing the right thing. Righteousness means just doing the right things is the right thing to do. We all are tempted to do different things, different ways. But when you are really in it and doing it the right way, only reap what you sow. Plant seed in good ground, harvest gonna come. Plant good seed, you reap the good seed. You plant good, you reap good. Period. It doesn't matter. Even if you feel like you wasted time somewhere, if your intentions, because when things end, we feel like we did. Sometimes I feel like I've done it in different situations. I made a joke with my sister. I said I got married too early, divorced too late. Other situations, 365 days too many. But the thing is, you learn a lesson. You learn and more about yourself. Stay true to what you believe. Stay true to what it is you desire. But also in that, hey Alicia, the lessons that you learn, they for your good. It's for where you're going. It's nothing that we've been through about what we've been through. So don't focus on that. Where it is that you desire to go, where is it you desire to be, and then look at all the things that have happened in your life. As I mentioned, all the transitions I've had. I had 2007, 8, 9. Then bam, here I'll go again. 2016, 17, 18. 15, 16, 17. I'm like, God. But it's like all these different things, these transitions are pushing me. One was pushing me out of that situation to this point. And then the last 3 years, they pushing me to where I am right now. So what I'm telling you is this: come hell or high water, ebbs and flows, ups and downs, highs and lows, know and don't know, I ain't quitting. I ain't stopping. I'm going to keep going. I'm going to keep pushing. I'm going to keep moving. I'm going to come on here every Thursday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. As long as I got breath in my body, God give me a different something else to do, and I'm going to empower, ignite, and uplift you. I'm going to empower you. I'm going to let you know you can do it. I'm going to ignite you. I want to light that fire inside of you, that passion that you have. And then I want to uplift you, let you know, even if you feel discouraged, you feel down, you don't feel like what's going on, why is this, what's happening, why it seems like it's not changing, uplift you to know that keep going, keep pushing. Something is, even things, in order for something to begin, something has to end. There's no new beginnings without the endings. We don't want our loved ones to die because we love them. The selfish parts of us want them to stay here. But if nothing dies, the world, we can't survive. The cycle of life. He said, ashes to ashes, dust to dust. How we come in is how we're going to leave. But it's like what you do before you go. What are you doing in between the birth and the death? Like, what are you doing in the middle of that? Who are you helping? Who are you serving besides yourself? That's how you live your best life and be your best self. You help others. And in helping others, you help yourself. Somebody sent a frowny face. I hope that didn't make somebody mad. But my point is this. In order to be your best self and live your best life, you got to answer your call. Whatever's pulling at you, whatever's telling you to go a different direction, whatever. And we call it, I should listen to my first mind. That happens all the time. But it's that other part, that other voice. Sometimes it's not a whole bunch of words. It's a feeling. Answer it. And if it's of God, He's going to make a way for you anyway. As I just said, as I'm closing out, for people who just joined in, I ain't pay a mortgage from August to June, but I ain't in foreclosure. I'm not about to lose my house. When God has put you in a place, He's going to grace you through it. He's going to make a way. He's going to provide. I'm not in trouble. I'm not losing anything. But I'm telling you is He makes the way. Don't worry about people. And I'm going to really end right now for real. And please, I'm asking you, not because someone told me, but because I know, don't worry about proving anything to anybody. Not a point, not that you're right, not that you're good, not that you're genuine, not that you're honest, not that you got the right intention. Don't do it, because the more you put energy into proving it, the less that point is proven. I know. Trust me. Just be who you are, because who you are is what's going to resonate anyway. Who you are is what's going to show up anyway. So forget proving a point. Only thing you got to prove, only person you got to prove a point to is yourself. Only person you really got to be true to is yourself and God. Period. Stick to the plan. No matter what come, what go. And you know the enemy, he'll come to test you, tempt you, but God come to test you. I've been fooling with these people trying to fix my air since last week. They still have not fixed it. I'm paying you the warranty. I'm paying all this stuff. Y'all, you taking money out of my account without permission. Just great for the deductible. Still no air, but I can't focus on that. And I'm gonna handle my business now. Don't get me wrong, but I can't let that consume me. You can't let things that you can't control consume you. You can't let people who don't want to change keep changing you. Like, we know some things we don't. We want to give it time, but after a while, you know that you know that you know. It's time. Release, let go, be free, live. Find balance, have fun, walk in acceptance, walk in forgiveness. That's very important. But other than that, just be true to who you are. Answer your call, walk in it, and the more you speak it, think on it, write it out, confess it, and really work on living it, the more the answers will come. It's not going to come from the people that you know. It's not going to come from the things that you're familiar with. But when God do it, He's going to bring people that He calls them to give to you. I've talked about it before. The shirts, the business, the logo, the this, the that. You know what I'm saying? Hey Tanya, the thing is this. All the stuff that I need, my shirts, my mugs, my different things, the stuff I want to put on my shop that I was keep saying I'm gonna launch it because I just pace yourself. And July, the 7th month, this whole thing for me now has come full circle. Learning the back end of being an entrepreneur, understanding what happens, what goes, and learning the skills and the tools, not really about outsourcing it, learning it myself. And I'm going to get to the point where I'll get people to do it for me. And some things I have, but He'll allow you, the more you focus on the goal, the dream, the vision, in spite of anything you've ever been through, it doesn't matter. It does not matter. The details don't matter. Take the lesson, learn the lesson, take the blessing, keep it moving. Quit explaining it to people. Quit trying to get them to understand, because people live in a limited scope mentality. If they have never been exposed to anything but what they've been exposed to, they're not going to understand you anyway. And you definitely, this is just a parable, but you definitely can't talk about what's happening on the east side. They never left the west side. If a person never left the front porch, they can't tell you nothing about what's happening in the street. Person never left their state, they can't tell you what's happening in another country. So Forget it. Like, let go, but be okay with being a game changer, a trendsetter, a generational curse breaker. It doesn't matter. It's okay to be different. That's where growth comes from. Differentiated. And for me, the lesson also, boundaries. Establish them, keep them. They're for my good and their good, because they make you be true to yourself, and it makes people be true to you too. And it makes them respect you. It makes them don't take you for granted. Anyway, let me get off here. I'm trying to stop, but right now I'm just sharing what I'm hearing him say. And even with that, I'm like, Lord, he said, say a small prayer before you start. And I do on my own, but even on here, Lord, let whatever you want me to say. You've given me the topic, you've given me this platform, but I want what I say to be empowering and impactful to somebody else when it's time. Because he's not a God of time, he's a God of timing. But when the timing is perfect, it's gonna blow up. I gotta be ready. That's why you gotta till the soil now. That's why you gotta work the ground now, so that when it takes off, think about a rocket. When they begin to launch it, they don't just say, "Hey, landing pad, go." You got to check all your vices and connections, and make sure, even with the launching part, that it's positioned properly, that the things that shoot the fire up are ready. So you got to be ready. But if you don't even start, if you don't even move, you don't even get up, how do you expect your life to change? And again, forget what people say and think. If you worry about that, oh my God, how crazy are you going to be? I know, trust me. And they still never, some people still never satisfied. You can do A, B, and C. Now they want D, E, F. Then they want G, H, I. Ciao. Bye. Be true to you. Answer the call. You're chosen. You're chosen for a reason. You're chosen for a purpose. Even if it's in your job or your career, be the light. And if you want to leave, you're not going to be able to until you serve your purpose. You got to serve it. So don't be the talk at the water cooler. Be the talk of the water cooler. Stay true. I'm telling you, I've been through all the cycles, all the things, all the dynamics of it. Be true to who you are. I'm a teacher by nature. I'm just a teacher by nature and by career. So leaving the classroom don't mean I'm still not teaching. But I want to be able to teach. I want to be able to teach and still make a real impact. Not this false thing where the kids get through high school, push them on through, they get to college and they can't make it because we've given them this false sense of security. No, you got to have a deadline. No, you cannot not. They don't even want you to do research papers anymore. College is still real. Life is still real. It's still competition out here. Technology is replacing people. So you better get you some skills. You better get you some knowledge. You better get you some other streams of income. You better let your gifts make room for you. Because even though all those things are going on, when you're favored and God is with you, those things can't stop you, because greater is He that's in me than he that's in this world. So those things can't stop you, but somebody's waiting for you to show up. Somebody's waiting for your gift. Somebody's waiting for your talent. Somebody's waiting for your voice, your skill, even if you a dancer, singer, actor, actress, whatever, somebody's waiting for you to show up for that part. Now, you got to play your role. You got to play the role to get the part. So, I'm just saying, whatever it is, hey Marla, whatever it is that you have been chosen and called to do it. My cousin just joined. I see her, she crochets a lot. That could be something that she could just do that. And because it's personalized and it's like what they want, guess what? They'll pay her for that. It's this movie that's on this, I forgot the channel. Is like a little, you can buy it. It's like Netflix, but it's not Netflix. But my whole point is this: the lady could bake these cakes. She needed to save her house. She baked, and then she became a millionaire for baking those cakes. So what I'm saying is, everything you need is already in your house. In your house and in your house. In your house, in your house. Already there. Are you paying attention to it? That's why I say stir up the gifts in me. The gifts make room for you. It ain't always about money, but the gifts bring you money. But if you're not stirring up your gifts, then how you expect to have increase? So anyway, if you joined in late, there's one video I had to stop and I restarted it. Catch the replay. I'm Tara Nicole, here to empower, ignite, uplift. I answered the call. I was chosen. Yes, teaching is part of in the classroom is part of my experience. I loved it. I loved it. While I loved it, I lost passion for it, not for teaching, but for the way it's being done. But it more so because my passion, my drive, my excitement is more so on this side of it. Empowering people, women, married, single, children, no children. I'm every woman, like I told somebody else. And I'll be on July the 1st. You'll have an opportunity to join my groups, my coaching groups. And there we're gonna really get hot, honest, open, and transparent. Because this is platforms for everybody. But some things, and I know that, and I started it, but I stopped it because I want to launch everything at the same time. But we want that sacred place. We want that safe place where we can go and really share and really be open and be okay with it. Because I'm not with foolishness. I'm not with drama. Anybody who know me spiritually or naturally, I ain't with the dumb stuff. I don't get down like that. I'm not with it. I'm not even going to be a part of it. So this is a safe place to be. And if you know me, I'm pretty consistent with my character, what I believe, and how I carry myself. Am I perfect? No. Do I have attitude sometimes? Yes. All that, but it ain't about that. I'm telling you that this is a safe place. So when those groups are launched, look for the emails, or you have opportunity to join the email list and join the group. But I'm telling you, that's the place where it really gets, good. You want to move your life from mundane to magnificent. But it all starts with you not only wanting to change, but making a change. That's what I say. Be the change that you want to see in the world. The world might not ever change. Look at it. It's going to hell in a handbasket. It's like chaos everywhere. But protect every open gate. You got to protect it. Your mouth, eyes, ears, even while you breathe. What are you doing? What are you thinking? What are you talking? What are you saying? What are you watching? Are you reading? We don't want to read. That's why you kind of like, okay, long post, short post. Hey Frank, or whatever, because it's like people don't want to read. If you can't clip it, click it, enlarge it, screenshot it, okay. If it's not 3 sentences, no. But how are you going to be the expert in what you're doing if you don't want to read? Read some books. Audible can be your friend. Listen to it. If you live in Georgia, you'll commute. Now it's going to be 45 minutes anywhere, because everywhere there was land, there's now a building or something new. So your commute, well, it used to be 20 minutes everywhere, 25. Now it's minimum 45, unless you're in your immediate neighborhood. Anyway, answer the call. Whatever that thing is, your book, your business, whatever your gifts are. I'm not saying leave your job, quit your job. But what I am saying is, if it's meant for you to be gone, you're going to go, whether you do it willingly or you're forced out of it. And not by people, because they don't do anything to you. It's what's being done for you. It's all for you. So all things work together for your good. You know what I'm saying? Not what do this to me. It's for you. So we learn some hard lessons. We got to make some tough decisions. But in the end, it's all for your good. It's all for your peace. It's all for your stability. And your true security lies in God. He is the source, has all the resources. So if the door doesn't open, that's not your door. If he closed that door, he didn't want me to keep a crack in that door. He wanted me to close it. That was with the job, the relationships, some friendships, everything. And I don't even worry about that, because I'm not consumed with trying to prove anything to anybody anymore. Don't matter what I used to do. Quit knowing me in that moment. Know me now. Know me right now. That's what's important. So don't be afraid to evolve, grow, and change. Don't worry about what people think or say. Answer your call. That means you're chosen. Many are called, but chosen are few. Some things you won't be able to get away from. You can get around it, but you can't get away. Get in alignment. Get your mind right. Really. Get your mouth right. Watch what you're saying and doing. Get your thoughts right. What you're listening to. Get some knowledge. And then take that knowledge and top it with wisdom. That's where your power is. It's okay to know the truth, but what you going to do with it? I'm Tara Nicole, here to empower, ignite, uplift. Here just talking about being chosen. I'm just full because I'm approaching this full year of being on this entrepreneurial journey. I've grown so much, like internally, like spiritually, just like this, just I can't even explain it. And like, I'm so past people. I mean that with every ounce of my being. Like, I'm so past people. If you let that, like, in what they think, I'm here for whoever he has for me to serve. But everybody else, And as I told you, people who know me don't see me. People who see me don't know me. But neither one of those scenarios are my business. It's to stay focused and stay the course. They'll get it. As long as I'm being true to who I am and what I'm called to do, then it's going to be all good. I'm Tara Nicole here to empower, ignite, uplift. Keep pushing, keep going, keep moving, keep growing, keep asking, keep seeking, keep searching, keep knocking. That's where your answer is going to come from. Stay focused, stay the course. Trust God, trust your journey, trust the process. Progress over perfection. He has a plan for you, and I promise you, is not to harm you or to hurt you, but to bring you hope in the future. No weapon formed can prosper or stand, and every tongue that rises against you shall be refuted. So don't even speak against yourself. Speak life. Speak life to yourself, your dreams, your visions, your goals. Watch it manifest. Join me every Thursday. Join the groups. Watch me on YouTube, Instagram, whatever. Change your trajectory. But it starts with you. Peace out.